Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to continue with the Human Eye and the Colorful World Series 3. So this is a part of 10th class chemistry unit 5. We already completed first two parts. So here structure of human eye got completed, and even what are the diseases, if any eye defects are present, those got explained in series 2. Now we entered into series 3. Today we are going to discuss about dispersion and scattering of light. So light properties are going to be discussed here, and also derivation of refractive index. How can we calculate refractive index? These topics are going to be covered in today's session. Let us enter into our actual concept. Right. So whenever after the rainfall, so after the completion of rainfall, we can observe a bunch of 7 colors in the sky, that is called a rainbow. Rainbow is observed if any water droplets and even light. Okay, so simultaneously there is a what penetration of light and raining, both the process are possible simultaneously. At that condition we can observe this rainbow. 7 colors can be observed in the distinctive manner. So this is purely because of whenever light rays passed through the water droplet. Now water droplet works like a prism that used to split all the white wavelength into 7 colors of light in accordance with their wavelength. That's the reason why, because of that, water droplet becoming or working like a prism used to disperse a light into all possible directions, into different wavelengths. Splitting of that light is possible. Separation of various wavelengths are possible in the presence of water droplet. It is a tiny prism. Because of that, 7 colors will be appeared. Okay, now let us see what is meant by prism. Prism is a glass made up of transparent material and one of the triangular refracting surface. So prism is a triangular surface is present and exact angle is present. So angle, prism angle is required here. So when it is obeyed, then only here dispersion of light and the splitting of light is possible. And it is of triangle and having definite angle. Whenever white light falls on this, it used to split that light into various colors, various wavelengths, and the spectrum of light will be appeared. Single wavelength can be splitted into a spectrum of wavelengths, and 7 colors will be appeared in this. That is known as a prism. Now let us see what are the important characteristics of this prism, and let us find out various properties of light in the presence of this prism. Okay, so now prism is associated with 3 boundary lines. One is said to be a P point, Q point, and R point are present. Okay, here in this regular triangle we have 3 rectangular planes. So we can find 3 rectangular planes in this and 2 triangular bases. So two triangular bases are present in this prism. Okay, then what is meant by angle of incidence? Angle of incidence is nothing but so angle which is generated between incident ray and normal ray. So this is said to be incident ray which is going in this slanting manner, and this is a normal ray of light. The distance which is present between in the normal and incident ray is said to be a angle of incident. This angle of incident is denoted with I naught. This I naught is the angle between normal and incident ray. Okay, now let us discuss about any other one. That is the angle which is a light is entered into the prism in its refraction and reaches the point M. Okay, this incident ray is allowed to enter into the prism through the point M. M is the point where incident ray enters into the prism. Okay, and at this point only there is a origination of incident angle. Incident angle is also originated at this point M only. Then let us see what is meant by emergent ray. After passing through the prism, whatever light emerging out, whatever light coming out at the point N, that is said to be emergent ray. Okay, light which is emitted by the prism at the point N is said to be emergent ray, and the angle between normal and emergent ray is said to be angle of emergence. This angle is known as angle of emergence, which is originated at the point N. Now let us see what is meant by angle of prism. Angle of prism, already we know, this prism consisting 3 points. One is P, second is Q, and either is R. The angle which originated at this tip point is said to be angle of prism. Okay, so angle of prism is said to be the distance between this PQ and PR point. The distance which is present, the angle which is present between PQ and PR point is said to be an angle of prism. And next is about angle of deviation. What is meant by angle of deviation? If we are extrapolating incident ray and emergent ray, so when angle generated, so when these two are bisecting to each other, the angle generated in between incident and emergent ray is said to be an angle of deviation. Right? Here we discussed about 4 different angles which are generated in this. One is angle of incidence, that is nothing but difference between normal and incident ray. Angle of emergence, that is a normal and emergent ray difference. This angle is said to be an angle of emergence. And third is about angle of the prism. Angle of the prism is an angle which originated between PQ and PR points. This in between point is said to be angle of prism. And next is about angle of deviation. Angle of deviation is nothing but the when we are extrapolating incident ray and emergent ray, the angle generated between incident and emergent ray is said to be a angle of deviation, right? So this is a laboratory activity. You're going to take the prism and keep the prism on the cardboard. So when you're keeping the prism on the cardboard, you have to point out the points like A, B, C point should be noted, and make a 30 degrees angle upon that. So after indicating 30 degrees angle, indicate 2 points on that. One is said to be A point, second is said to be B point, and this is entering into the prism, that is the point of incidence. This is known as point of incident. So this can be by using textbook. Let us discuss about that one. A laboratory activity with a textbook. What we are doing, we are going to find out refractive index of the prism. That is the activity we are going for one. And what are the materials required? We are taking one prism. A white chart or white cardboard was taken, which is the of 20 into 20 dimensions, and some pins are taken and scale protractor are needed for this experiment. Right? How we have to do the experiment? We are taking white cardboard or white chart was taken, and on the chart we are placing the prism. Prism is of planar surface and kept on the surface, and draw the lines at its boundaries. So after drawing the lines, you will get a triangle shape. Mention the all the tip points as PQR point, just we saw in the figure. Okay, so here PQR points. So these tip points are said to be PQR points we mentioned in this diagram. So after mentioning PQR points, what we are doing, we are taking the angle between PQ and angle between PR. So directly you are going to measure. So what is the angle present between that? That angle you are going to measure by using protractor, right? So that angle is taken as the angle of prism. So you are going to calculate angle of prism, and that will be tabulated. Angle of prism can be tabulated here. And what is the shape of outline? Obviously, it will be a triangle in nature. And the PQR vertices. So PQR vertices you named on that, right? So you found the angle, and that is known as angle of prism, right? Now, M point was mentioned on the surface. What is M point? When we are taking this, here it is denoted with M point. M point stands for the point where incident light is entering into the prism. Incident light is entering into the prism. That point is known to be known to be M. Okay, so point of incident light. Okay, this light denotes incident ray, and angle which generated at that point is called incidence, angle of incidence. You have to measure what is the angle of incidence, that should be noted in this table, which is denoted as I1. Angle of incidence is denoted with I1. That should be noted in the table. Then place the prism in its position. Now fix 2 points. 2 points are fixed on that. So, and A point, B point as shown in the figure. So how we have to denote here? By taking a 30-degree angle, you have to draw a straight line. On the straight line, 2 points should be noted. One is point A, second is point B. Okay, so this is a line of incidence light. So line of incident light which is taken, which is originated from the point M. On this point M, a straight line was drawn. On that straight line, 2 points were noted. One is point A, second is point B. Okay, after noting this, what we are going to do? The image point through the prism. So in either half, we have to go with any other half remain. So that is exactly near to the parallel to this M. Here N point was noted. This N point is denoted as point of emergence. This N is this location is known as point of emergence. From this again we are taking 30 degrees angle. At this 30 degrees angle, one straight line was drawn. On the straight line, 2 points were denoted. One is known as point C, second is known as point D. This line is known as a point of emergence. So this is known as point light of emergence. The light of emergence is given with angle 30 degrees, and the distance between the normal and the light of emergence is taken as angle of emergence. Then this angle of emergence was also drawn on this, and that should be noted into the table. Right, initially we are taking the point M. From this point M we are drawing the straight line with 30 degrees angle. On this A, B points were noted. The distance between the normal and this incident light angle was taken as the angle of incident that was noted in the table, and in between this normal line and the light of emergence was taken as the angle of emergence. So these two angles were taken in this. Okay, so after getting that, remove the prism. Now prism can be removed from the system. From that cardboard, we have to remove that prism. Do it carefully. Now, drawing the lines which are used to join the point M and N. These point M and N will be joined by the straight line. Okay. So now we have to connect all the points like P, Q points were touched, and Q to R point and R to P point, or all the triangular shape was drawn here. The angle between N, the angle between normal and N, the angle between normal and N, emergent ray is the angle of emergence. This was also measured just now we discussed, and that was also mentioned in this. After getting this, what is our work now? So we are going to see, we are going to connect all the points. Just look at into this. Point A, point B, point M, point N, point C, point D. When we are going to connect all these lines, this is nothing but path of the light flowing through this prism. Initially, we are allowing the light to enter into the prism. After entering into the prism, there is a angular shape, some extent of bend in the light will be observed later, that is coming out in the form of this certain angle. This is about the path of light through the prism, which is indicated in this diagram, right? So after this, what we have to do, we have to extend both the lines. From the point M and point N, both the lines are extrapolated, so that they are going to bisect this at this point O, and the angle which generated at this point is denoted as angle of deviation. Angle which is generated by the extrapolation of point M and N are said to be angle of deviation, denoted with D, right? So in this way we are going to find angle of deviation as well as angle of incident light, angle of emergent light by using this laboratory activity, right? So after getting that, we are going to plot a graph. How can we plot the graph? We are taking x-axis coordinate, angle of incidence terms were taken here. Then angle of deviation, D terms were taken, and the y coordinate. You're going to get a curvature. A curvature is obtained in this graphical representation of this light. Okay, so x coordinate, what we are taking angle of X coordinate angle of incident light was taken, I1 values were taken, and angle of deviation was taken in the y-axis, so that we are getting a curvature on this. So by drawing a straight line, parallel line with respect to this x-axis, so what happens? The line which is able to touch this y point is said to be given with a point D. This point D denotes a minimum deviation. Point D denotes a minimum deviation. So in this way, we are going to expect where the minimum deviation is observed. Through this graphical representation, we are going to identify where the minimum deviation is possible, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to derive the equation of refractive index, right? So derivation of refractive index is going to be done. Before that, let us simplify this prism and the parameters which are associated with this prism. As already we know, there is a initial line is present which is touching the prism at the point M. The point M where the straight line is touching, this is said to be a line of incidence. Okay, on this line of incidence we have 2 points, one is called A and second is called B. Okay, the angle which is present between the line of incidence or light of incidence and normal, this I1 is said to be angle of incidence. Okay, angle of incidence will be there. How many angles are there within prism? We have 4 angles. I1 is the angle of incidence, that is the difference between normal and incident light. And second is about I2. I2 denotes the angle generated between normal and emergent light. The light which is coming out, so that difference is taken as the angle of emergence light, which is denoted by I2, right? I1 is angle of incidence, I2 is the angle of emergence. Now let us see another angle called D. Okay, D angle is nothing but angle of deviation which is generated at the point O. When we are extrapolating the points M and the angle generated between incident and emergent light, the angle generated between incident and emergent light is denoted with point D. D denotes angle of deviation, right? And whatever angle generated in between this M point and the line which is touching, these two are taken with R1 and R2. These are called angle of refraction. These are called angle of refraction. Okay. Now let us see some of the terms associated with the prism. Point AM. AM is nothing but A to M. This point denotes incident ray. So this is a light from which we are passing, that is called incident ray. And MN, where we are taking MN? The point which is connecting M and N is called refracted ray. The point connecting M and N is called refracted A. Light is passing through some kind of angle, some extent of angle, hence you can say this is the refracted ray. And point ND, the point ND which is coming out from the prism is called emergent ray. Coming out from the prism is called emergent ray. And the angle A, what is angle A? The angle generated between PQ and PR, this is known as angle of prism. This is known as a angle of prism. So this is about some of the parameters which are associated for this prism, right? Now let us derive the equation for refractive index. Now we are going to derive the equation for refractive index from the triangle OMN we are taking, where OMN are there. So here MN is the line where refraction of light is possible. This straight line is called MN line, and by extrapolation this will be connected at the point O, right? So this is nothing but angle of deviation. This MNO, we are taking a triangle of MNO which is originated within the prism. So for this, here angle of deviation is given as angle of deviation D is equal to I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2. I1 incident light angle, R1 so refractive light angle 1, I2 emergence light angle, R2 is the refractive light angle 2, right? So it can be represented in another way, I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. So similar terms were taken in this bracket. So R is equal to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2 will be taken here, right? So in this incident angle, so this will be taken as I1 is taken as 90 degrees. Now it becomes A plus 90 minus R1 plus 90 minus R2. A plus 90 minus R1 plus 90 minus R2 is equal to 180 degrees. This is the empirical formula for the prism. A plus 90 minus R1 plus 90 minus R2 is equal to 180, right? So how it can be represented? We can take the similar terms in the same side. Now it becomes A minus R1 plus R2 into 180 is equal to 180. 180, 180 get cancelled. Now it becomes A is equal to R1 plus R2. What is A? Angle of the prism. A is the angle of the prism is equal to R1 plus R2. What is R1? The angle which is present in between these two lines is called R1. The angle which is present between these two lines is said to be a R2. Now, let us substitute the D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus A. So why it is given like this? Because D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2, right? Instead of R1 plus R2, what we are indicating, we are substituting its value. A is equal to R1 plus R2. Instead of R1, R2, you can insert this A here. Now D is nothing but angle of deviation is equal to I1 plus I2 minus A. I1 plus I2 minus A will be there, right? So this A can be taken this left hand side. A plus D is equal to I1 plus I2, right? This is the interrelation between angle of prism. A stands for angle of prism, D stands for angle of deviation, I1 stands for angle of incident light, I2 stands for angle of emergent light. This equation gives the all four angles which are present in the prism, right? According to Snell's law, we are applying Snell's law here. What Snell's law states? N1 sine I is equal to N2 sine R. What is the Snell's law? N1 sine I is equal to N2 sine R. Okay. So when we are taking the point M where incident light is entering into the prism, at this point N1 is not there. N1 point will not be there, hence it will become 1. And at this M point, angle I is given as I1 and N2 becomes, at this point N2 becomes N and R is nothing but that angle is R1. So angle of refractive index is taken as R1 at this point M. Okay. Now let us substitute all these in this equation. N1 is equal to 1. That's why 1 into sine I. Sine I is nothing but sine I1 is equal to. So N2 is equal to what is the value? N. N2 is equal to N. Then sine R1. Sine R is nothing but sine R1. So what is the final equation? Sine I1 is equal to N sine R1. At the point M, what is the equation? Sine I1 is equal to N sine R1. Now let us consider the second point N, where N1 is equal to N. Here N1 is denoted with N and I. Angle is given as I2. At this, the angle is angle of emergence light. N2 is given as 1. R is given as R2 here. Angle of refractive index is given by R2 at this point N. Now, N sine I2. N sine I2. When we apply the Snell's law here, N1 is nothing but N, right? Sine I is nothing but I2. Sine R2, because N2 value is 1 only, right? So that's why N is equal to sine I2 is equal to sine R2, right? At the point of deviation angle, when we are considering this O point here, deviation angle D will be given. Deviation angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. At this point, angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. I1 exactly is equal to I2. At this point, I1 get exactly is equal to I2. So if I1 and I2 both are equal, we can substitute this in the previous equation. What we got here, A plus D is equal to I1 plus I2. If we substitute that equation here, A plus D is equal to I1 plus I2. I1 is equal to I2 is nothing but I1 plus I1. If I1 plus I1 was taken, A plus D is given as 2I1. A plus D is given as 2I1, right? Now, A plus D is equal to 2I1 is derived in this just now. Then I1 is given as A plus D by 2. So let us take I1 is equal to A plus D by 2. For in this instance, I1 is equal to I2. If I1 is equal to I2, then angle R1 is equal to R2. Angle R1 is equal to R2 also. R1 is nothing but refractive index 1, R2 is nothing but refractive index 2. Hence, R1 is equal to R2 is equal to A. Right. So 2R1 is equal to A now. So R1 plus R2 is equal to A. Just now we derived in the equation. Here it is. R1 plus R2 is equal to A. A is nothing but angle of prism is equal to R1 plus R2. We already got it. So that can be applied here. So A is equal to R1 plus R2. Nothing but A is equal to 2R1. It can be represented as R1 is equal to A by 2. R1 is equal to A by 2. Since I1 is equal to N sine R1. I1 is equal to N sine I1 is equal to N sine R1. If we substitute R1 formula here, R1 value in this, so how can we get N sine A by 2? N sine A by 2. R1 is nothing but A by 2. That's why. So sine A I1. So what is I1? I1 value is A plus D by 2. This I1 value is indicated here. That is nothing but sine A plus D by 2 was taken here. And N sine R1. What is R1? A by 2 is the R1 value. Sine A plus D by 2 is equal to N sine A by 2 will be there. Now let us find out N. So N is equal to sine A plus D by 2 by N sine A by 2, right? So this N only we are getting. So N is equal to sine A plus D by 2 by N, sine A by 2 will be there. This is called the equation of refractive index. So this is called the equation for refractive index. How we got this? Based on Snell's law, we derived the entire equation. Snell's law states that N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. So in case of this prism, angle of incidence exactly is equal to angle of emergence. That's the reason why A plus D is equal to 2I1, right? So A plus D is equal to 2I1. That's why I1 is equal to A plus D by 2. And we already got the derivation of R1 plus R2 is given as A is nothing but angle of prism. Then R1 is taken as A by 2. When we substitute these two in this equation, what is the equation? Sine I1 is equal to N sine R1. Then sine I1 value will be A plus D by 2. And N sine R1 value is A by 2. Now N is N is equal to sine A plus D by 2 by sine A by 2. So this is called a derivation of refractive index of the prism. Derivation of refractive index. N stands for refractive index. So refractive index of the prism is derived in this manner. Let us do the same by using same formula. We are going to practice one problem where prism angle is given. A value is given as 600, produces angle of minimum deviation. Angle of minimum deviation is given as 300. Means A value is 600, D value is 300. When we apply in this equation sine A plus D, A is nothing but what is the A value? 600. D value is 300 is provided by 2 sine A by 2. Again A will be 600 by 2. So let us substitute these values. Only two values are provided to us. One is A, angle of the prism, D, angle of the deviation. When we apply the formula, N is equal to sine A plus D by 2 by sine A by 2, right? A is 600, D is 300, 600 plus 300, 900 by 2, sine 600 by 2, right? Now it will become sine 450 by sine 300 because 900 by 2 is nothing but 450 and 600 by 2 is nothing but 300. That's why sine 450 by sine 300. Okay. Sine 450 is nothing but 1 by under root 2. Sine 450 denotes 1 by under root 2. Sine 300 is nothing but 1 by 2. Sine 450 is 1 by under root 2. Sine 300 is 1 by 2. Okay. So here what will be obtained? Denominator, and we got another denominator. That's why it will become 2 by under root 2. How can we write this? 2 by under root 2. So 2 can be written as under root 2 into under root 2 by root 2. When root 2 get cancelled, now n value becomes under root 2. That means refractive index of this material, this prism is given n is equal to under root 2. Thus, if refractive index value is under root 2. What will be the formula for this calculation? N is equal to sine A plus D by 2 by sine A by 2 will be the formula. A value is given 600, D value is given 300. If you substitute, you will get the refractive index under root 2. Next is about how we can observe, how we can obtain the VIBGR. How can we obtain VIBGR? So let us do one experiment within the laboratory. A light source was taken, and in front of light source, one cardboard with a slit, a small hole is inserted into that, and one white board is inserted. In between the whiteboard and the cardboard, we have one prism. We inserted one prism. Now, light is allowed to pass through this small hole and falls in the prism, and you can observe all 7 colors on this whiteboard. All 7 colors will be appeared on the whiteboard. This is purely because of dispersion of light. Okay, so this is purely because of dispersion of light. And one thing we are going to discuss here will be all 7 colors will be appeared on this. Out of all the 7 colors of the VIBGR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red are having maximum angular deviation. Angular deviation of these colors are extremely high, and among all, red has the least minimum angular deviation. Red color angular deviation is very less. So that means whenever it is passing through another medium, one medium to another medium, so deviation, it will reflect, it will flow with the same intensity without any deviation. Deviation is less. That's the reason why this red color can be appeared from the longer distance also. Hence, we are oftenly using this red color as a traffic signal light. So deviation is very less. We can clearly observe that light because it is not even passing from one medium to another, it will not be much deviated, right? So this is about activity to get the VIBGR within the laboratory. We are taking the source of light, and the source of light is inserted with the cardboard having a small pinhole in order to pass the light through that. So one of the particular wavelength of light, white light, is allowed to pass through this one, and we inserted one white board on here. White cardboard is inserted. In between cardboard and whiteboard, we immersed one prism of proper length, and now this white light is allowed to fall on this prism. This prism is able to split the light into all 7 colors. That 7 colored stream of light will be reflected on this wall, right? So in this way, we are going to perform this activity to disperse the light into all 7 colors. By this, we are going to finish today's session. In today's session, we discussed about what are the important characteristics of prism, what kind of angles will be there, what kind of terms will be there in order to define the prism, and the derivation of refractive index was completed. Hope it will be helpful. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you, one and all.